Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Thought for Thursday. I'm happy to be with you here this evening, this afternoon. Well, I don't know what time it is that you may be watching this. I'm a little later than I thought I would be, but I am here nonetheless. I hope that you have had a wonderful week. I am continuing my series, which has stretched into 12 weeks, on reinvention and the different tools and the different facets, the different pieces of reinvention that you may see as you try to make changes in your life, either personally or professionally. As you know, Thought for Thursday is a part of Leveling Up the Podcast, which I want to tell you right now is starting a totally new series next month. So stay tuned because we have a whole new line of podcasts coming your way. They're the regular extended podcasts that last anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, which is different from what you get here on Thought for Thursday. You know, Thought for Thursday, we come on and in a 15-minute time span, we tackle a problem, we tackle a challenge that you may have, making sure that when you leave after 15 minutes, you will have some tools that you can immediately use that are going to make impact for you and help you to make the change that you desire to make in your life. As I said, whether that is personally, whether that is professionally. We talk finances, we talk health, we talk faith, we talk wealth, we talk any of the things that really impact our lives and frequently require some change in order for us to level up and to do better. So tonight we are continuing. Again, I've been 12 weeks in now. Well, not 12 weeks. It'll be a total of 12 weeks when I complete this. But we are talking about the various pieces of reinvention. We started with the core. We talked about the importance of making sure that that was shored up because that's the foundation that you build from when you're making change in your life. Your core meaning your beliefs, meaning how it is that you foresee, how it is that you perceive the things that are happening in your life. What beliefs do you have? Are you suffering and dealing with limiting beliefs? How are you feeling as far as where you believe you are to be or what it is that you are to do? What does purpose look like for you right now? And how do you feel about it? So tonight, after we've discussed core, we've discussed finances, we've discussed what career reinvention may look like. Now we're continuing by discussing the importance of being whole and the importance of health. Our topic or the teaser for this was sustained, not drained. So we're going to talk about some self-care practices that are going to support you in your reinvention. We're specifically focusing on health because what is it or how is it that you can make any change in your life when the vessel that you desire to use or the desire or that you are operating from is not in a healthy place? So I'm not talking about spa days, which is something that I teased with in the social media post as well. But we're talking about health from a number of different perspectives. I'm talking about practices that are going to help you to refill your cup before you run on empty. Now, for some of us, we're already on empty, right? So I'm going to teach you how to refill that cup, although you are on empty right now, but refill it so that you can go forward, knowing what it is that you need to do to prevent yourself from going on empty again and what you need to do to fill up right now. Now, because you're reinventing your life, you don't need vision and purpose. You don't just need your vision and your purpose, is what I meant to say. But you also need energy, you need peace, you need clarity, you need strength. All of that falls into wellness, doesn't it? So, those are the things that are maintained by how well you care for yourself. Not just once, not just twice, not just this week, but how well you care for yourself consistently. That is the area that I frequently find that we as women fall short in. We start out caring. We start out making sure that we're okay. Maybe for a week or two, we start great habits. And then somewhere along the line, we let something else take priority over our health. And then we're really not in a good position to do anything, to make any substantial change in our lives. So I'm going to give you 5 sustainable self-care practices tonight. And these are going to help you to stay strong. They're going to help you to stay whole. They're going to help you to stay grounded, not just as you begin this whole reinvention that we're talking about, but as you carry it forward. Because remember, like I said, you've got to keep it up. It's not just good for a spa day. It's not just good for one day, but it has to be done every day in order for you to see a change, to make the change, and in order for you to be in a position where your vessel is strong to carry out the things that you want to make different in your life. So what are some of the things? What are some of these sustainable self-care practices that I'm talking about? Well, there's some things that you're going to have to do. And the first one I have down here is making sure that you establish some boundaries. Now, you know, we talk boundaries a lot, don't we? I want to make sure that you're establishing mental boundaries to protect your mind from overload. So we're constantly bombarded with information. It's noisy all the time, isn't it? Noisy with one thing or another. Expectations are constantly clouding our heads. There's always something. And if you're not careful, your mind can really kind of become a parking lot of sorts for everybody else's cares and concerns and not yours. And they take over in that parking lot all the spaces, and there's no space for you to take care of yourself. So you're going to have to create that space of stillness. Don't let everybody fill your parking lot so you don't have a place to park your car. You have to really limit access. You have to be very deliberate in limiting the access that you give to people, and that you give to even social media, that you give to any piece of yourself that is going to be able to take in information, digest it, and sit with it. Anything that is going to affect your peace, you have to be very, very careful and set boundaries as it relates to those. So what are some sustainable practices that you can do to ensure that you're really kind of protecting your mind from overload? Well, perhaps you need to put a curfew on when you do calls. You know, no phone for the first 30 minutes of your day. First 30 minutes of your day is when you're sitting still, when you spend time reflecting, when you spend time journaling, when you spend time praying, when you spend time even beginning to exercise to get your body physically shored up, all right, to handle the day. Limit your intake of news or social media. That's something I just said. You know, I was an absolute news junkie. And over the past 3 or 4 years, I've had to cut back because I was losing sleep. I was anxious. I found myself at a point where I wasn't at peace as I should have been. So for that reason, I had to cut back and watch what it was that I was seeing and watch what I allowed to pass my ear gates, all right, and what I was hearing, because I would take that and go ahead and let that affect me. And let me tell you, it doesn't just affect you mentally, but also it begins to affect your physical. Replace the tendency that you may have to scroll with some stillness rather than scrolling through social media. And I know I am definitely guilty of finding entertainment on social media, of kind of letting my mind just wander and get caught up in some of my favorite Instagram posts or some of my favorite Instagram people that I follow. But there comes a time when you really do have to put that phone down. You have to get off the laptop and stop scrolling through social media. Well, for one, especially if you're doing it at night, it affects your sleep, doesn't it? So you're constantly scrolling. It's 1 or 2 in the morning and you have to get up at 5. that doesn't work so well because it's also proven that your body needs the rest. All right. So just a couple of things there. So sustainable practices that really are not hard to put in place, but are necessary in order for you to protect your mind from overload. What else? Make sure that you're doing some body check-ins. Now, what do I mean by doing your body check-ins? Well, doing the check-ins so that you honor what your body is saying. In order to know what your body is saying, you got to check in, meaning you've got to listen to it. Frequently, your body is going to whisper to you before it screams. You're going to have soreness in your lower back. You're going to feel headaches. You're going to feel fatigue all the time. You may feel jittery. And all of that can kind of be a precursor. For example, a simple backache may be an indication that a bigger spasm is about to happen. A headache could, over time, if not treated, if not watched, if not monitored, could turn into a migraine. So that's what I'm saying when I say your body will often whisper to you before it actually screams out. Too often we just override those whispers. We just keep it moving. You know, how often have we heard that? Don't sit and dwell, just keep it moving. Well, there's sometimes when you're going to have to slow it down and realize that, yeah, I need to dwell on this a bit. I need to think about it, because if I don't, it's going to have me flat on my back and in a position where I'm not able to do anything. So you want to be very careful with that. Tune in. How do I feel physically? How do I feel after I eat? How am I feeling when I first get up in the morning? Am I needing to take more vitamins? Am I needing to get more exercise? Am I needing to perhaps change my diet, limit caffeine? See how you feel when you do take caffeine versus when you don't, when you do an excessive amount of caffeine versus when you don't. All things that you have to do. It may even require you journaling if you're starting to feel something and you can't identify quite why you are feeling it. But find out, ask yourself, how do I feel physically? What do I need today? Do I need more water? Do I need more time outside? Do I need rest? Do I need nourishment? And adjust your schedule accordingly. Adjust your schedule to how it is that you need to do your meals. Now, you may say, no, that's difficult. But think of the consequences of you not adjusting your schedule to address meal times that help you to operate optimally, meal times that help you to be healthier, meal times that give you the energy that you need to carry out your day or whatever project it is that you want to complete. Many of us need to sit and accept the fact that we are not a machine. Let me say that again. You are not a machine. You're a living and breathing vessel. Realize that and treat yourself as such. What else? Financial peace. I mean, we did an entire week talking about the importance of financial peace and how it is that you can reinvent yourself financially. Well, there's some practices that you can put in place to make your money a place of calm and not chaos. Let's be real. Bills, responsibilities, a lack of funds, a need for funds in order to carry out whatever it is that you need to do. All of that can be very stressful. So it's very important for us that we realize that, because finances really are one of the biggest reasons behind people experiencing burnout and anxiety, especially for women who are trying to reinvent. You need your money to support your next chapter, don't you? And sometimes the money just doesn't look right. And so that discourages you and makes you think you cannot move to the next chapter. Sustainable self-care is going to include how you approach and manage your money. And I want you to really think about this. And so what are some of the practices that you can put in place in order to make sure that your money is a place of calm and not chaos? Check your balances. Now, I know for me, I frequently, or I used to frequently say, I don't want to see the balance because I know it's lower than what I want it to be. Well, guess what? You don't check it, and then things sneak up on you. And when you do finally check it, guess what? It's far lower than you thought it was going to be. You really can establish a place of calm, knowing this is going to come out on this day, this is going to come out on this day, and plan for it and plan to know when things are coming out. Track your spending, plan your week's expenses. You know, perhaps it'll be beneficial, or I know it always is beneficial, to set a small goal financially. Save $25 by canceling a subscription to something that you may just let ride and not realize that you are paying $25 for a subscription that you don't even use. Do a survey, do an audit to find out what is it that I am using versus what I'm not using. Where can I cut back? When your money is managed with care, your mind rests a lot easier. And I know that's something that should not be surprising to you. All right, so we talked financial peace. What else? Well, emotional clearing. Very important, incredibly important. It is so imperative that you realize you can't carry it all. I know your shoulders are big. I know you're strong. I know you may be the one in the family who always gets it done. You may be that one on the job who always gets it done. You've been conditioned to keep going and to hold it in and to push through. But let me tell you something. Unprocessed emotions can weigh a whole lot, and they do weigh a whole lot. So what you need to do is realize that you need to identify those emotions. Make sure you understand why they're there. Make sure you understand that you are only human and there is only so much that you can carry, all right, before you start to feel as though things are wearing down and wearing out. And that is your mind, your ability to be able to sustain the next thought even, all right? When you are emotionally worn, that next thought can just weigh the world to you. So what are some things that you can do? Set aside 15 to 20 minutes a day to just kind of ask yourself, what did I carry today? What did I carry over the weekend? What did I carry this week that really wasn't mine to hold on to, but I carried it nonetheless? All right. Not only did I carry it, but let me look at the way I carried that. I carried somebody else's stuff and then I carried it without even being stable and being able to hold it. Many of us are at that point too, right? What emotion is still sitting with me that I probably just need to work on letting go? I say probably need to work on letting go because let's face it, letting go of some things is just not easy, but we can take steps. We can take it small. Letting go of how I was made to feel first thing in the morning about this thing. Work on that first, and then work on the things that may weigh down the rest of your day. It's okay for you to sit and journal. You are a person who's made up of emotions. It really is okay for you to have some time to cry, to pout, to be mad, to get angry. I always say anger, there is not a problem with anger. It is how you act when you are angry. It's a natural emotion to hold on to or to have. Let that weight go before it piles up on you, and it easily piles up. Burnout is destined to come when you're carrying those weightier things. Burnout can be a very hard thing to recover from. So keep all of that in mind as well. And the last thing that I want to tell you about, and I'm not even sure that I have it down here. Oh, yes, I do. And that is, it is very important for you to make sure that your soul is anchored. Stay anchored in something that is far deeper than you. Let's just say it that way. Create something that is going to anchor your soul. that's going to not only anchor it, but something that you can go to every day that's going to be able to keep you spiritually grounded. This could be reading a devotional. It could be saying your affirmations, which I strongly, strongly recommend. Just spending some time somewhere where you're in an environment that smells good, and that's going to help you to kind of release and sit and think and ponder and plan. That's important. Take a mindful walk sometimes. You may just need to get out and do a walk up and down the street or around the block or at the mall or in the gym. Repeat a scripture or a mantra on a regular basis. Something that I always say is going to stick to your ribs and help you to be able to make it on the coldest of days. That's going to be able to provide you air conditioning on the hottest of days. You need something that is going to emotionally keep you equipped. So the bottom line in all of this is reinvention isn't a race. And it really does require kind of a rhythm. And a part of that rhythm is good health. To move in rhythm, you've got to be sustained and inspired. You got to care for your body, realize you are not a machine, care for your emotions and your finances and your spirit, and do it in ways in which you are consistent and careful. All right. So that's that. And I am far over my time, but I get really passionate about this because it is so easy for us to succumb or not get to where we want to be because emotionally or health-wise, holistically, we are just not where we need to be. And the person that you're becoming, and I say this almost every week, is going to need more from you. And you have to be well enough to carry that person. Start small if you need to. Grow, get bigger. Pick 2 of the practices that I just mentioned out of the 5 that you can carry out. You're not just building a new life. You're really building a version of yourself that is going to be whole, that is going to be present, that needs to be well. All right. That's it. But as usual, I have programs in which we can delve even deeper into this. Please, if you're interested, text the word MORE to 240-789-4299. Again, text MORE to 240-789-4299. All right. That's it for today. Make sure that you check out our past episodes on YouTube and also on the CTR Media Network, which is where I have not only these episodes, but the longer edition of the podcast, or the podcast you can watch on your favorite streaming platform. Any of them, we are there. All right. So go out and make this the best day ever. Make sure that you be authentically yourself, because you really don't need to be anyone else, because yourself, that's the best person that you can be. Go ahead and touch something and make the difference that only your imprint can make for yourself, for the world, for someone else. We owe it to someone else to be able to pull them up when we found our way. All right. That's it. Have a great one. And I'll see you next week.